Hey there, Striker once again, flying the F-18 in the Persian Gulf. Today I wanted to put together a video that shows some lessons learned around locating, tracking, and engaging ground-moving targets using laser-guided weapons and IR-guided weapons, specifically Mavericks. In a recent single-player mission that I flew, I realized my skills around engaging moving targets was somewhat lacking, and I decided it was time to sharpen my skills with that. And I wanted to kind of share some of the stuff that I figured out. So today we'll be engaging a small convoy of 4 vehicles, and this is in a single-player mission. It's actually a little training mission that GazAce made. I modified it. He had a Tor on the 4th vehicle position that would shoot down your missiles and attack you and everything, and I just wanted to keep this simple. So I took that out, and then I put in an ATFLIR, as I prefer that over the LITENING II. Other than that, the mission is pretty straightforward. Fly out, find the targets, and engage them with your missiles. I have 2 IR-guided Mavericks and 2 laser-guided Mavericks. Anyway, enough talking. Let's get into the cockpit and let's blow some stuff up.
Alright, so first thing we're going to do is going to get on autopilot, barometric altitude hold, and I'll hit the auto throttle control. It's kind of keep us out here while we get set up. Just going to go to air to ground mode. Select the IR Maverick, field of view, step to the other one, field of view. Kind of keeps things easier. I'm going to go from map mode to ground moving target mode. I'm going to extend that out to 40 miles. We can see our targets over there. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my FLIR down in the MPCD. Alright, so we're all set. So the first thing we want to do once we're all ready to go is I'm going to do a sensor control switch right, which is where my ground moving target radar is. Move the cursor over to it and then right again with the sensor control switch. So it's now locked on. Now the radar is locked onto that target. Now also you'll notice that the FLIR has locked down onto it as well, although it's pretty far away and hard to see. Now one thing is that if you switch down to the FLIR, it's going to lose the lock on the target, which is fine. We can pick it up again. So what I do is I go down, zoom in, and then I'll just go back to the right here and sensor control switch right. Although I have to disengage the target down below, and then there we go. Alright, so right now we're targeted on that last vehicle in the convoy. There's 4 vehicles down there. What I want, let's see if we can hit the 3rd vehicle and the 1st vehicle in one pass. So now we're getting pretty close at 11.5 miles to the target. I'm going to go down on my sensor control switch, move over to the vehicle I want to hit, and then get the lock on it. Come over to the FLIR, the Maverick, and you see it's locked on that last one, so I have to undesignate and then use the target to maneuver that guy into the one I want. There we go. I'm in range, I can fire. Now let's come down again. And we'll move over to that 2nd vehicle. Come over to here. See what we get. We're on that wrong vehicle, so I'm going to undesignate and swing over. Oh. There we go. And fire again. So I didn't even have to nose down. Okay. And that's it. Now we can take off, and those Mavericks will go down and do their work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get our speed up, we'll loop around, and we'll extend out so we can come back in, kind of rinse and repeat with the laser designator on this, laser Mavericks. So I'm going to sensor control switch down, undesignate, basically reset that. Sensor control switch right. There we go, we got one. And the other one should pop up shortly here. There we go, both dead. Okay, I'm going to extend my radar out. I'm going to push out a little bit here. While I'm doing that, I'm going to set up my my laser Mavericks. Get the code entered in, which is a typical 1688. Enter. Now they're both set. I'm going to turn my laser designator on. Always important to remember you reset that after each attack. So push out here a bit, we'll pick them up on radar again. I find the laser Mavericks can be a little bit easier on these moving targets. Stationary targets, I do like the IR Mavericks just because they're launch and forget type of thing, right? Especially handy against air-to-air or surface-to-air emplacements. Okay, so let's pull around here. You'll see we'll pick up those targets again on the ground-moving target radar. There it is. Move this down there and lock it up. FLIR is locked over. Now you don't want to launch and rely on this lock because it's still being tracked by the radar, and if you get out of gimbal constraints you'll lose your lock, so you got to sensor control switch to your FLIR and then get a lock that way. Just like that. Okay, uncage. And then I'm going to press and release the pickle switch once, which will get the laser firing. Get a good lock on the laser Maverick. I'm going to launch again. Now this guy we do need to kind of keep a lock on with the FLIR, so what I do is I just gently turn away to avoid overflying, cut back on the throttle. And we'll just see what's going on. Resist the temptation to play with the zoom on this guy because that can cause some issues. When I zoom out at times it would lose the lock and then my missile would explode somewhere else. There we go, we got him. So while we're here, why don't we just try and pick up that other guy? There we go. Might not be able to get him, we might need to find him again once we come back. So once again we'll extend out here. So we'll pull back around. See where the FLIR is locked on, if it's the vehicle or the ground. I think it's the ground. It is. So let's come back down here, undesignate. Come over to the ground moving target radar, designate there. Which brings our FLIR onto the target we want. Center control switch down, zoom in. Lock on them. Come over to our Maverick, uncage. It goes down to where the targeting pod's looking. Turn on our designator. And here I'm going to press and hold, and it'll lock on after launch. So, I'm going to roll around this way. It says SA-15 because that's what it was in the original template from GazAce, who made this mission, but I modified, as I mentioned, and that's it. So it's always good to practice on these, on something where you're not getting shot at very much, just to kind of get the hang for the flow. Again, it's start with a ground moving target radar to find your targets. Focus down onto the FLIR, use that to take over the lock, and lock your target, and then lastly move over to your Maverick, get that down on target, and then adjust as needed. Now remember, if you still have a lock using the FLIR, you'll have to undesignate once so that you can move that Maverick cursor around and get a lock on your target. So I hope this has been helpful. drag her out.
So here's a little 2 additional kills I made using the laser guided Mavericks. I wanted to, I guess, just kind of demonstrate locking onto one target, launching, and then as the Maverick is in flight, undesignating that target and moving the FLIR designator over to another target that you want to destroy instead. So you'll see in this video I'm locked onto one vehicle, launch my Maverick, and then I undesignate, move it over to the other, and let that Maverick ride in on that other target. It's again, good stuff to practice, because sometimes your lock will break for whatever reason, or sometimes you'll realize you're on the wrong thing. So being able to quickly redesignate to another target is incredibly useful.